This is Dave Decide. Today we have a lot going on and I wanted to get into V rushing out of the airport quickly and how that ties into people saying that V hit one of his staff members. I also wanted to get into ATEEZ and them being harassed during their recent appearance and someone was arrested. No one wants to talk about money, but we need to. Inflation is killing us and I have something to help just a little bit, at least with food and gas. There's an app called Upside and it's free to download and use. Seriously. Upside works with your local businesses in your area and you'll get cash back from these places if you buy food or gas there using the app. Here's a restaurant where you can get 5% cash back, some 4%, and if you're going there to eat anyway, why not also get your 5% cash back? And even this gas station near me is 51 cents off per gallon. It's been decades since I have seen gas prices in the $2 area. And if you don't trust these apps or me, then you can simply just ask your local business. The one on the apps are working with Upside, so they'll tell you all about it. And these are really great deals here. Now, when you use the app, remember, you have to claim the offer on the app. You'll have an option to check in and then you pay as you normally would, and then you get your cash back through the app. You can redeem the cash back with PayPal or Amazon gift card, and there's other options too. The app is free to download, and if you use the promo code DUMPLINGS, you'll be able to get $5 cash back if you spend $10 or more. So your first meal can be $5. So I will link the website down below. Check it out and thank them for sponsoring today's video. ATEEZ and Stray Kids are probably two of the best upcoming groups right now. I really think within the next few years, we are going to hear a lot more from them and they're just going to blow up to a global status. ATEEZ is one of those groups that I think everyone knows about, but aren't getting the individual attention they deserve. Of course, when they do get media coverage, it's coverage on something that is not great and something that would definitely be best not to happen. ATEEZ was recently in Saudi Arabia due to their concert, and I'm always a bit surprised to hear the K-pop groups are performing there. Not because there is a lack of fans there, that is simply not true at all, but there's a lot of discrimination there, and especially with more effeminate appearing men. The media over there has sometimes made fun of K-pop groups and groups like BTS, calling them gay and homophobic slurs. This is no reflection on any specific person or group of people in Saudi Arabia. I've noticed the people who do love K-pop over there are so warm and kind and welcoming people. But I'm just referring to a collection of a few bad apples that can make the experience horrible for the K-pop idols. One specific experience happened recently where ATEEZ got out of the airport and pretty much everyone kept a safe distance from ATEEZ and just admired the boys from afar. There was one fanboy. I honestly don't even know if this person was a fanboy or just a troll, but they ended up getting really close to ATEEZ and they were recording his interaction with the boys and posting it on TikTok. People had mixed reactions when this was posted because while a lot of people were mad at the fanboy, even more people were upset at how the label security could even allow this guy to get too close, because it almost appeared like no one was even there to try to stop him. However, that's all fine and dandy now because we can see that he didn't have a weapon or anything like that on him. However, allegedly it was reported that he was saying racist remarks and cursing at ATEEZ. Now, I don't speak the language, so I can't confirm exactly what the racism and cursing that was said was and translate that, and it seemed like no one else can either because I couldn't find an actual transcript online anywhere. Now, it was reported by police in that area that the officials had taken legal action and decided to arrest the man, and the man was only arrested after the footage went online. So I guess the police tracked down his IP address and then decided that this was just unacceptable behavior. And I get their actions. I don't know if this is specific laws of this town or if it applies to every single person who says racist remarks, because in America you can't even get arrested for being racist. But it's a good look for that area, because if this gets out that Korean men going to Saudi Arabia are going to get this type of racism, then no one would go, and K-pop has brought in likely a decent amount of tourism or money to the area. Since the guy did get arrested, what I'm about to say is going to fall on deaf ears, but I couldn't find the exact translation. So I felt weird even taking a side here, because what we have seen in the past of what was said is vastly different from what is interpreted online, and people take things out of context. I don't know if it's true in this case, right? Like, he got arrested, so it must be bad. But even before that, the outrage was based on other people calling it racist, and then everyone else just jumped in on it. So many people have no idea what is being said in the video, and they're willing to jump on this guy without knowing. And I don't think this is okay. But as I said, I don't think this point will make it across because what was said was actually bad enough for an arrest. Not referring to this specific case, but we have also often seen moments where things being recorded can be taken out of context significantly. And I never like to jump to conclusions. I think that that will make us a better society when we try to not jump down people's throats. V apparently got some backlash recently, and I wanted to give context to everything going on first. So if you know this portion, just bear with me. We all know that V, Lisa, and Bogum went to Paris for their fashion thing. Among returning, I think Lisa and Bogum spent a small amount of time waving and interacting before getting in their car and driving off. When V headed out, he walked straight to his car and did not interact much. When this was recorded and posted online, it was made to appear like V looked like he was a rude person because so many people had traveled out and far to see V and he just didn't even acknowledge them. This is where I say things are taken out of context. The media power that V has is incomparable to any other idol and can cause complete chaos. Some fans at the event spoke about what happened to say that in this situation, or the situation heading up to V coming out, was already complete chaos. It was raining, security was very bad, and some reporters and fans were even on the road where they seemingly might have been hit by a car. And some fans or reporters were lingering around where V's car was. And V is very self-aware of these types of things and his media power. When he walks into an airport, he is very cautious of everything. There was another example of a mother losing her child during a mob that was chasing V, and V stopped and let the child catch up. If he had not done that, the child would have either been lost or trampled as the fans and reporters are trying to get a shot of V. Since V stopped, everyone else would stop and the child would be okay. Since V knows this, he is not about to linger and talk to fans and reporters and encourage more of this already super dangerous situation where people are on the road. He realizes if he just leaves quickly, then the crowd can leave and everyone would be safe. Later, when he issued a brief apology, of course, he is not going to address this as he doesn't want to make it appear like he is accusing the fans or reporters of doing anything wrong. So he just takes the blame for himself. Do you see the difference between someone who is rude and someone who is just very aware? BTS members can't just do anything they want, and V would likely gladly take on a "he is very rude to fans" headline as opposed to the headline that says "fan dies from car crash because they try to meet V." These were his options at the moment. And I'm not saying Lisa or Bogum didn't care, but they might have been less aware, or it might not have been as crazy when they were coming out, because I think V was last. Now, I am not entirely sure. Of course, in this situation, V was forced to leave very quickly due to safety. And you also don't know if it was his team that just told him to get in fast and not interact. Now, of course, the media and headlines have already made him out to be this stuck-up and rude person, so that will stick with him, unfortunately. So anything he does now will be heavily looked at under this "he is rude" gaze, if that makes sense. So recently, V was hosting a radio show, and this was either before or after the show was over. I think it was after. Reporters were sticking around and trying to get photos and videos of V walking out, and they had even asked him to take his mask off, and they wanted a good picture. It was alleged that V's manager comes up to V and spoke to him about something, and then V kind of taps the manager to get out of the way as the reporters were trying to get a photo. This was taken entirely out of context, as I mentioned, because of the previous "he is rude" gaze. What was believed to have happened was that the manager was rushing V to move along as he didn't want V to be late. Typically, this is what the manager's job is, and they have to keep time. It's really not the job of the artist to worry about things like, am I going to be late or whatever. Someone else has to prepare the car, the transportation, all that to ensure that the artist can get there. People then start to say that V was pushing the manager away after being super annoyed that the manager was even talking to V, which you can clearly see it was not a push, but more of a tap. No one was hurt. It was also taken out of context when people screen grabbed the manager's reaction when V tapped him away. It appeared like the manager had tipped his head back and rolled his eyes, but you don't know the manager and how he is. This could be a thing he does. And also, it is extremely difficult to tell anything from these clips. You can literally take any clip of BTS or anyone and clip it in a way to make your own narrative, whatever narrative you want. If a person can convince a large number of people that the world is flat, then you can convince people of anything. I don't believe V was annoyed in this situation and that he pushed the manager. I think there was also a sense of just being kind to the reporters and fans that had showed up. They would obviously be annoyed after traveling for hours or waiting for hours just to get the back of V's manager's head. And of course, I think V was aware of this. Since this situation was a lot more calm and collected, V felt a lot more comfortable sticking around and taking pictures and being himself. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.